In this training tutorial, we're going to take a look at Discovery Education and the top 5 things that you need to know. In order to get to Discovery Education, you may have a shortcut on your desktop, your computer desktop at school, or if you're logged into Google Chrome, under ECSD bookmarks, there is a shortcut to Discovery Education that you can click on. Or, of course, you can simply search for Discovery Education in Google. And one of your first hits, if not your first hit, should be Discovery Education. And when you click on that, it will open up Discovery Education. You're simply going to click Log In, and that will bring up the login screen. And you will see that you have the option to sign in, but you're actually going to come down and click on Sign In with Google. And you're going to use your school email address and password, your school credentials, to log in to Discovery Education. Once you've chosen your school credentials, you may be asked a couple of questions about linking to Discovery Education and giving it permission to access things. Just agree and click yes and move on until you get to Discovery Education. And this should be kind of what you're looking at once you're there. If this is your first time in Discovery Education and you've never been in here before, it may ask you some information about personalizing your account. And what that's going to do is allow you to choose things like your grade levels that you're interested in, your subjects that you're interested in. And under My DE, you'll start to see things that are related to what you have chosen. If you've used Discovery Education in the past and maybe some things have changed, you just want to check to see how your Discovery Education is set up. You can always come up and click on your profile, which is probably your initials in the top right hand corner. And if you click on that and go to View Profile, you'll have the ability to add information into your profile, choose whether it's public or private, add in all of your personal information if you want to, and then also choose the grades that you're interested in and the subjects that you are interested in. And of course, after you put in all of that information, you're going to click Save Profile, and it will allow you to go back to Discovery Education. So you have the ability to kind of adjust what you see or personalize it to whatever your needs are. During this training session, I'm going to ask you to actually take some notes. Keep a list of 25 things that you didn't know. This is a strategy that you can use with your own students in your classrooms, and we're going to look at this strategy and where it came from in just a few minutes. But during this session, collect 5 new pieces of information on how Discovery Education Experience supports, number 1, timely and relevant content personalized to you. Number 2, discovering and organizing resources. Number 3, creating, curating, and collaborating on content. Number 4, instructional strategies and professional learning. And number 5, learning, sharing, and connecting with others. So basically anything that you didn't know as we go through this training session. One of the things that I think is really cool about Discovery Education is how it's changed over the years. It used to be a really good go-to thing, but it was a little clunky and hard to use sometimes. I mean, not overly so, but a lot of teachers kind of got away from using this for a while when they switched from United Streaming to Discovery Education, and logging in was hard. They fixed the login issue for us so that we can use Google to log in. It makes it very simple and easy. To me, this layout is really easy to use, user-friendly. You just kind of click on a button and it will take you to different things. Again, you can personalize your experience with your My DE, My Discovery Education section here. You even have a little information bell down here that you can click on that will give you some resources in this resource center. Getting started, if you click on that, it will walk you through how to search for resources, how to bookmark, playing videos, viewing, downloading images, and all those kinds of things. What's new, your DE experience, and it gives you the option to talk with experts in a live chat, which is really awesome, so you can ask those questions as you need to right up front. When we got started, we did the 25 things you didn't know teaching strategy or instructional strategy, and that is actually one of the things that I feel like is the most beneficial to you as a teacher. I have shown you a number of tools over the last few years that you can use in your classroom with your students. But when we're talking about educational technology, the technology tool that we use is just a tool, and it's not really using technology for instructional purposes all the time unless you kind of know how to use those things. The instructional strategies button here that I'm going to click on is going to take you to all kinds of instructional strategies, and these are not necessarily technology-based strategies. They are things that you can use in your classroom today with your students to help keep them interested in what you're doing. A lot of times we kind of get stale on the things that we use. I know that Trashketball, I think is what you call it, is very popular in a lot of classrooms, and that's great, and the kids do love that. But after a while, you'll start to hear the kids say, well, we play that all the time, and that's boring. And, well, what if there were other things that you could do in your classroom that would allow, your students to kind of mix it up a little bit? So this is the spotlight on instructional strategies that you can use in your classroom. You can see we have a most popular and we have a top 10 list that you can go to. We'll just click on AEIOU, which is kind of a fun one. The great thing about these instructional strategies are that they give you the walkthrough in a PDF of how this needs to go. They also give you a video of a actual teacher who has used this in their classroom, and they model this for you so that you know what you're supposed to do and how it's supposed to work, and there are no questions at all when you go into this. So we can see that Tara Lee Gratton in Alberta, Canada, is the teacher who's going to be demonstrating this AEIOU for us. And we're not going to watch or listen to all this for the sake of time, but I do want you to know that it's here, and you can see that there are more like this if you wanted to scroll down and view those as well. You also, anything you view in Discovery Education as far as personalization goes, you'll notice that we have a plus sign and then the quick list with the plus sign as well. The quick list allows you to kind of, if we think of Amazon, put this in your cart. You're not checking out with it yet, but you want to come back to this. You think it's interesting, so you can click the plus button and add it to your quick list. And it will pop up in the top right-hand corner to let you know that you've added that. When you're ready to look at your quick list, this is actually your quick list here. You can click on that and you can see that I have added American holidays and traditions when I was searching for turkey or Thanksgiving a little bit earlier, and then I also have this spotlight on strategies AEIOU, so I can come back to that. Once you have them in your quick list, you have some options. You can either add this to my content, or you can add it to a builder, and we'll talk about some of those things later. All right, I'm going to click on Discovery Education and go back to the main area here. And we're just going to kind of go through these things across the top and look at those. So the first thing we're going to look at is trending. Once you click on trending, you're going to see the things that are the most popular right now across Discovery Education. We have Native American Heritage Month, since that's what we're in. We have a section called Why We Hate, celebrate Thanksgiving, and then kind of a contest that they're having here for students. If we scroll down a little bit, we see trending across Discovery Education right now, these videos, popular channels, and of course Magic School Bus, maybe not for high school age, but definitely in my household right now. We watch a lot of Magic School Bus and love that. So you have those things that you can kind of scroll through and just kind of peruse. If I go back to the main page here by clicking on the Discovery Education logo, I can also browse by subject. So maybe I'm a science teacher and I click on science, maybe. Notice that I have the ability to change my grade level here. A lot of times it will stick, but for some reason I find that every now and then it defaults back to K through 5 instead of 9 through 12. So if you start seeing a lot of kid-related videos, just know you probably need to switch back to 9 through 12 up here if you're in high school. If I choose science and technology, it will take me to all of these cool videos. Yep, see, I'm back to K through 5 for some reason, so I'm going to click 9 through 12, and it's going to pull in some things that I can use in my classroom. Mythbusters Junior is always, fun. This episode is about making these huge dominoes, and they fill them with concrete, and it crushes a car, and so there's lots of physics and different things involved in that. Also notice that you have full videos and video segments. So tracking asteroids with radar may be a small segment of the full video of how the universe works on asteroids. And you can kind of see that if we go into this full video here, it will list out all the different segments, and that may just be part of it. So you don't have to watch an entire video. You can also add these to my content like we looked at doing earlier, to put those in your quick list if you wanted to do that as well. The other cool thing, and this is kind of jumping ahead here, but I want to make sure that I get this in. If I wanted to assign my students to watch this video, I can do that. Once I've clicked on the video, all I have to do is go to Assign. And actually, you know what? I did that wrong. Within Discovery Education, they have their own ability to create classrooms and also assign assignments, to make what they call project boards, and also to create assessments. However, if you're already using Google Classroom, you probably want to use Google stuff, and that's fine. All you have to do is go to Share. And when you go to Share, you'll have the handy-dandy little Google Classroom link here. You click on that. It will allow you to choose the classroom that you want to assign this video to because your account is linked. So if I chose this test class that I made a while back, and I want to create an assignment, I can do that. I can then click Go. I can put in all the information just like I would normally in Google Classroom. I can assign it or wait to assign it later. And then the students will be able to view that as well. Students do have the ability to log into Discovery Education on their own with their school Google account. And they do that the same way that you did. They go to Discovery Education, they choose Sign In with Google, and it pulls up their Discovery Education, which looks like this. So I'm switching gears here a little bit, looking at the student's view here, so you can see it looks very similar to yours. This is the board builder that I've talked about. It's kind of like a PowerPoint virtual triptych kind of thing, and I'm not really going to get into that in this training session. But they also have the ability to search for videos. So if they wanted to search for Thanksgiving and find a video, then they can. They can also limit their information over here just like we can. And they can also choose the editable option here. So if they wanted to make a video project or an audio project, these are approved for the students to download, edit, and use in their own projects. The other great thing about this is if they're looking for information that they can cite as a source, they can click on this, and all of the videos have the citations tab. And so there it is, an MLA, APA, and Chicago Manual of Style, in case you wanted to cite those sources for a paper or a project. All right, switching back over to the teacher side of things now. We have kind of talked about Studio and making those boards, which is kind of a cool thing. You can also, again, make tests or assessments in Discovery Education and classrooms. But again, if you're already doing Google Classroom, you probably want to stick with that. This is the tab for the instructional strategies that we've looked at. There's also professional learning and an educator network if you really get into this. Of course, the most basic way to search for things is to come up and go to search and search for Thanksgiving or whatever it is you're looking for, and that will give you all of the things. Notice you can choose to look for channels, videos, images, text, boards, and then more. And of course, you can limit your search results over here with your filters as well. You have relevancy, most popular, and grid versus list. Thanks for joining me for this training.